Let us embark on a journey of mind and spirit, a journey that will take us through the labyrinth of human experience to the very core of what it means to feel good when the world around us seems to be crumbling. Now you might be thinking, Alan, how can I possibly feel good when everything is going wrong? And to that I say, precisely because everything is going wrong. You see, the very notion of wrong is a fabrication of our minds, a story we tell ourselves about how things ought to be. But let's step back for a moment. What do we mean by wrong? We've created this vast, intricate web of expectations, desires, and fears. We've woven it so tightly around ourselves that we can barely breathe. And when reality doesn't conform to this web, we declare that things have gone wrong. Has anything truly gone wrong in the universe? The stars still shine, the earth still spins, and you, my dear friends, are still here, breathing, thinking, feeling. The universe continues its cosmic dance, utterly indifferent to our notions of right and wrong. You see, feeling good isn't about the external circumstances of our lives. It's not about having everything go according to plan. Feeling good is a choice, a perspective, a way of being in the world that transcends the dualistic thinking of good and bad, right and wrong. Now, I'm not suggesting that you should ignore the challenges in your life. Far from it. I'm inviting you to embrace them, to dance with them, to see them not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth and transformation. Then you're watching a thrilling movie. Do you want everything to go smoothly for the protagonist? Of course not. The excitement, the growth, the very essence of the story comes from the challenges, the setbacks, the moments when everything seems to be falling apart. Your life, my friends, is the greatest story ever told. You are the protagonist, the hero of your own epic tale. And like any good story, it's filled with twists and turns, ups and downs, moments of triumph and moments of despair. You get to choose how you experience this story. You get to decide whether you're going to be dragged along, kicking and screaming, or whether you're going to embrace every moment, every challenge, every setback as part of the grand adventure. Remember, feeling good isn't about denying the reality of your circumstances. It's about changing your relationship to those circumstances. It's about recognizing that your experience of life is not determined by what happens to you, but by how you choose to interpret and respond to what happens. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Alan, you don't understand. My problems are real. I've lost my job. My relationship is falling apart. My health is failing. And to that I say, yes, these are real challenges, but they are also experiences, sensations, thoughts. They are waves in the ocean of your... And you, my dear friends, are not the waves. You are the ocean. You are the vast, boundless awareness in which these experiences arise and subside. When you identify with the waves, you're tossed about at the mercy of every up and down. But when you recognize yourself as the ocean, you can observe the waves with equanimity, even curiosity. This shift in perspective is not something that happens overnight. It's a practice, a way of being that we cultivate over time, and it begins with a simple recognition that your thoughts and feelings are not you. They are experiences happening within you. When you're able to observe your thoughts and feelings without getting caught up in them, you create a space between stimulus and response. And in that space lies your freedom, your power to choose how you will respond to life challenges. Now, let's delve deeper into this idea of feeling good when everything seems to be going wrong. It's not about plastering a fake smile on your face or pretending that your problems don't exist. It's about finding a deeper wellspring of joy and peace that exists independently of your external circumstances. Have you ever noticed how your mood can shift radically, even when nothing in your external world has changed? You might wake up feeling anxious or depressed, and then later in the day, for no apparent reason, you find yourself feeling light and cheerful. What changed? Not your circumstances, but your state of consciousness. This reveals a profound truth. Your experience of life is generated from within. It's not a direct result of what's happening around you, but of how you're interpreting and responding to what's happening around you. Now, I'm not suggesting that external circumstances don't matter. Of course they do. If you're hungry, food matters. If your cold shelter matters. But beyond the basic necessities of life, the correlation between external circumstances and inner well-being is far weaker than most people assume. We've all known people who seem to have everything going for them. Wealth, status, good health, and yet they're miserable. And we've all encountered individuals who, despite facing enormous challenges, radiate a sense of joy and peace. What's the difference? It's not their circumstances, but their relationship to their circumstances. It's their understanding of who they really are and what really matters in life. You see, most of us go through life with a case of mistaken identity. We think we are our bodies, our thoughts, our emotions, our social roles. We think we are the voice in our head that never stops chattering, judging, comparing, and worrying. But what if I told you that you are not any of these things? What if I told you that you are the awareness in which all these things appear, the unchanging backdrop against which the ever-changing drama of life unfolds? This is not just some abstract philosophical concept. It's a lived experience that you can verify for yourself. Right now, in this moment, can you notice the part of you that's aware of reading these words? Can you notice the part of you that's aware of any thoughts or feelings that might be arising? That awareness, that consciousness is who you really are. And when you start to identify with that awareness rather than with the content of your awareness, something remarkable happens. You begin to experience a sense of peace and well-being that's not dependent on external circumstances. Now, this doesn't mean you become some kind of unfeeling robot. On the contrary, you become more fully alive, more present, more engaged with life. But you engage from a place of groundedness, of inner stability. You see, when you identified with your thoughts and emotions, you're like a cork bobbing on the ocean at the mercy of every wave. But when you identify with awareness itself, you're like the depths of the ocean, still vast, unperturbed by the surface waves. From this place of inner stability, you can face life's challenges with grace and equanimity. You can feel good, not despite things going wrong, but because you recognize that wrong is just a concept, a judgment, not an inherent quality of reality. Let's explore this further. Think about a time when something in your life went wrong. Maybe you lost a job, a relationship ended, or you faced a health crisis. At the time, it felt like a disaster, didn't it? But looking back now, can you see how that apparent disaster led to growth, to new opportunities, to a deeper understanding of yourself and life, often the things we resist most fiercely? The experiences we label as wrong or bad are precisely the things that catalyze our growth and evolution. They're the fire that forges our character, that burns away our illusions and reveals our true strength. So, what if, instead of resisting these challenging experiences, we learn to welcome them? What if, instead of labeling them as wrong, we saw them as invitations to grow, to evolve, to become more fully ourselves? This doesn't mean you have to enjoy suffering. It doesn't mean you shouldn't take action to improve your circumstances. But it does mean changing your fundamental relationship to life's challenges. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Try asking, what is this experience trying to teach me? How can I use this as an opportunity for growth? You see, the art of feeling good when everything seems to be going wrong is really art of aligning yourself with the flow of life. It's about recognizing that life is not happening to you, but for you. Every experience, pleasant or unpleasant, is an opportunity for awakening, for coming into a deeper, more authentic relationship with yourself and with life. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Alan, this all sounds well and good in theory. But how do I actually do this in practice? How do I feel good when I've just lost my job, or when I'm dealing with a serious illness, or when my relationship is falling apart? And that, my friends, is precisely the right question to ask. Because while understanding these ideas intellectually is a good start, it's not enough. We need to embody this understanding to live it in our day-to-day lives. So, let's talk about some practical ways to cultivate this ability to feel good, to maintain your inner peace and well-being, even when external circumstances are challenging. First and foremost, practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is simply the art of being present, of paying attention to your experience in this moment without judgment. It's about observing your thoughts and feelings rather than getting caught up in them. Start by taking a few minutes each day to simply sit and observe your breath. Notice the sensation of the breath moving in and out of your body. When thoughts arise, as they inevitably will, simply notice them and gently bring your attention back to your breath. This simple practice can have profound effects over time. It helps you to disidentify from your thoughts and emotions, to create that space between stimulus and response that we talked about earlier. Another powerful practice is gratitude. Each day, take some time to consciously appreciate the good things in your life, no matter how small. Even in the midst of great challenges, there are always things to be grateful for. The warmth of the sun, the taste of your morning coffee, the kindness of a friend. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's right, from what you lack to what you have. It's a powerful antidote to the negativity bias of our minds, which tend to fixate on problems and overlook blessings. Next, cultivate self-compassion. Many of us have a tendency to be harshly self-critical, especially when things are going wrong. We berate ourselves for our mistakes, our perceived failures, our inability to handle challenges perfectly. But what if, instead of criticizing yourself, you treated yourself with the same kindness and compassion you would offer to a dear friend? What if you acknowledged your struggles, your pain, your imperfections with gentleness and understanding? Self-compassion is not self-pity or self-indulgence. It's a recognition of our shared humanity, of the fact that struggle and imperfection are part of the human condition. It's about treating yourself with kindness and understanding, especially when you're facing difficulties. Another powerful practice is to reframe your challenges. Instead of seeing them as problems to be solved or obstacles to be overcome, try viewing them as opportunities for growth and learning. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? How might this challenge be serving my evolution? This doesn't mean denying the reality of your difficulties or pretending that everything is fine when it's not. It's about shifting your perspective, about finding the gift in the challenge. Remember, every difficulty you face is an opportunity to develop strength, resilience, wisdom. It's a chance to discover depths of yourself that you might never have known existed. Now, let's talk about the importance of connection. When we're going through difficult times, there's often a tendency to isolate ourselves, to withdraw from others. But this is precisely when we need connection the most. Reach out to friends, family, or a supportive community. Share your struggles, your fears, your hopes. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. There's a tremendous power in being seen and heard, in knowing that you're not alone in your struggles. Now remember, connection isn't just about receiving support, it's also about giving. Often when we're caught up in our own problems, the simple act of helping someone else can shift our perspective and remind us of our own strength and resilience. Another crucial aspect of maintaining your well-being in challenging times is taking care of your physical health. Exercise regularly, eat nourishing food, get enough sleep. Your physical state profoundly affects your mental and emotional state, and vice versa. When you're taking good care of your body, you're much better equipped to handle life's challenges. You have more energy, more resilience, more capacity to maintain your equilibrium in the face of adversity. Now, let's delve into the power of perspective. Often, when we're in the midst of a challenging situation, we lose sight of the bigger picture. We become so focused on our immediate problems that we forget the broader context of our lives. Try to zoom out. Remember that your current challenges, no matter how severe they may seem, are just one chapter in the larger story of your life. They're not the whole story. Think about challenges you faced in the past. At the time, they might have seemed insurmountable, but you got through them, didn't you? And in many cases, you probably grew stronger, wiser, more resilient as a result. This too shall pass. Whatever you're facing right now, it's not permanent, it's a phase, a season in your life. And just as winter eventually gives way to spring, This challenging period will eventually pass. Moreover, consider the vast scale of the universe and the long sweep of time. In the grand scheme of things, our individual problems are incredibly small. This doesn't mean they're not important or that we shouldn't address them, but it can help to put them in perspective. You are a brief, beautiful expression of the universe becoming conscious of itself. Your challenges, your struggles, your moments of joy and sorrow, they're all part of this cosmic dance. Can you embrace them all with equal enthusiasm? Now, let's talk about the power of acceptance. Many of us waste enormous amounts of energy fighting against reality, resisting what is. We think this shouldn't be happening. Things should be different. Reality is always exactly as it is. Our ideas about how things should be are just that, ideas. They're not reality. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation or passivity. It doesn't mean you don't take action to improve your situation. It simply means that you start from an acknowledgement of what is rather than fighting against it. When you accept reality as it is, you free up enormous amounts of energy. Instead of wasting energy resisting what is, you can channel that energy into constructive action, into growth, into creating the future you want. Remember, you can accept a situation without approving of it. You can acknowledge that this is how things are right now while still working to change them. Another powerful practice is to cultivate a sense of purpose or meaning. Often, when we're caught up in our personal struggles, we lose sight of the bigger picture, of what really matters to us. Take some time to reflect on what gives your life meaning. What are your values? What do you stand for? What contribution do you want to make to the world? When you're connected to a sense of purpose larger than yourself, it becomes easier to navigate life's challenges. Your difficulties are put into perspective. They become part of a larger journey rather than insurmountable obstacles. Now, let's explore the idea of surrender. And I don't mean giving up or becoming passive. I'm talking about surrendering to the flow of life, about letting go of the illusion of control. You say, much of our suffering comes from our attempts to control life, to make it conform to our ideas of how it should be. But life is inherently unpredictable, inherently beyond our control. What if, instead of trying to control life, you learned to dance with it? What if you approached each moment with curiosity and openness, ready to respond creatively to whatever arises? This doesn't mean you don't make plans or work towards goals. But it does mean holding those plans and goals lightly, being willing to adapt and flow with the changing circumstances of life. Surrender is about trusting in the intelligence of life itself. It's about recognizing that you are not separate from life, but an expression of it. You are life itself. When you surrender in this way, you align yourself with the flow of life. You stop fighting against reality and start cooperating with it. And paradoxically, this is when real change becomes possible. Now, let's talk about the power of choice. In every moment, no matter what's happening around you, you have the power to choose your response. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond to what happens. This is not about denying your feelings or pretending everything is fine when it's not. It's about recognizing that your feelings, your thoughts, your actions, these are all choices you're making, whether consciously or unconsciously. When you realize this, you reclaim your power. You're no longer a victim of circumstances, but a conscious creator of your experience. With any challenging situation, pause and ask yourself, how do I choose to respond to this? What perspective can I choose that will serve me and others best? Remember, feeling good is a skill. It's something you can cultivate and develop over time. It's not about never experiencing negative emotions or never facing challenges. It's about developing the capacity to maintain your inner peace and well-being even in the face of life's inevitable ups and downs. It's about recognizing that your essential nature, the deep, unchanging awareness at your core, is already peaceful, already whole, already complete. Your task is simply to uncover this, to peel away the layers of conditioning and false identification that obscure your true nature. Now, as we near the end of our journey together, I want to remind you of something vitally important. You are not alone. Even when you feel most isolated, most separate, you are intimately connected to all of life. Every breath you take connects you to the trees, to the atmosphere, to all other living beings. Every atom in your body was once part of a star. You are not separate from the universe. You are the universe experiencing itself in human form. When you truly realize this, not just intellectually, but experientially, something profound shifts. Your problems don't disappear, but they're no longer just your problems. They're part of the vast, complex, beautiful tapestry of life itself. And so, my dear friends, as you go from here, remember this. To feel good when everything seems to be going wrong is not about denying reality or pretending that challenges don't exist. It's about shifting your relationship to reality, about recognizing your fundamental inseparability from life itself. It's about cultivating presence, gratitude, self-compassion. It's about reframing challenges, opportunities for growth. It's about connecting with others, taking care of your physical health, maintaining perspective. It's about accepting what is, connecting with your sense of purpose, surrendering to the flow of life and consciously choosing your responses. Above all, it's about remembering who you really are, not the limited, separate self you might think you are, but the vast, boundless awareness in which all experience arises. So, the next time you find yourself in the midst of difficulty, the next time it seems like everything is going wrong, pause. Take a deep breath. Remember these words. Remember that you have within you the capacity to feel good, to maintain your inner peace and well-being, no matter what's happening around you. Remember that you are not your problems, not your challenges, not your successes or failures. You are the awareness in which all these experiences come and go. You are life itself, expressing itself in this unique and beautiful form that is. And from that place of remembering, of reconnecting with your true nature, you can face whatever life brings with grace, with courage, with an open heart. You can feel good not despite life's challenges. Because of them, because you recognize them as opportunities for growth, for awakening, for becoming more fully yourself. So go forth, my friends. Embrace life in all its messy, chaotic, beautiful complexity. Feel good not because everything is going right, but because you've remembered the truth of who you are. And in that remembering, you've found a wellspring of joy, of peace, of aliveness that can never be taken away from you. Thank you for joining me on this journey. May you always remember to feel good, especially when everything else seems to be going wrong. For in those moments of challenge and difficulty, you have the greatest opportunity to awaken to the truth of your being, to the boundless peace and joy that is your true nature. And with that, my friends, I bid you farewell. Remember, this is not an ending, but a beginning. Every moment is a new opportunity to remember, to awaken, to feel good. Embrace it fully with all your heart. For this right here, this is what it means to be truly alive.